we'd like to welcome you to another edition of Spotlight on Long Island Schools right here on 103.9 LI News Radio, and you can hear us live at linewsradio.com. I'm your host, Bob Vecchio. Be sure to like our Facebook page, Spotlight on Long Island Schools. Suggest a program, club, or an activity that your district is involved in, and who knows, your school may be the next one in our Spotlight. This week, our Spotlight is on Eastern Suffolk BOCES and their career tech education programs and academies, and we have several high school seniors from a couple different districts located in the Eastern Suffolk BOCES servicing area, along with their teachers, to talk about some of the career tech ed programs that they're involved in. And some of the programs that Eastern Suffolk BOCES is offering that we're going to talk about tonight is a pharmacy technician program, construction, namely carpentry, and also fashion, merchandising, and design. So we have some high school seniors who are participating in those programs, but we're going to start off with some of their teachers to get a little background about the programs, how they work, and what they're about. So, Lori, we're going to start with you with the pharmacy technician program. Tell us, explain to the audience, what does a pharmacy technician do, and how the students who are participating in this program, how they could take that further beyond what Eastern Suffolk BOCES is offering them.
Hi. Pharmacy technicians are the ones that you see behind the counter at every pharmacy that you go into, actually filling patients' prescriptions. So this is a one-year program that's offered to high school seniors. And by the time they finish up their school year, they're qualified to sit for a national certification exam. So that national certification, upon passing that exam, will allow them to obtain a job in another state if they go away to college or relocate after graduating high school.
So while I was excited to do this program for career tech ed, because we hear all the time about college and career ready. So what you're saying is this a 1 year or 2 year program?
This is a 1 year program.
So after a 1 year program of students attending this class, they could sit for the national certification, and then they could be hired instantly in the pharmacies all across New York State, all across the country if it's a national certification, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Great. And if they wanted to take it further and pursue a higher education, what would be some of the courses that they would take on a higher level beyond the pharmacy tech program if they would go into college? What would that lead?
I have some students that go into the medical field that want to become nurses, and I have a large portion of my students that want to go on into the PharmD program to become a licensed pharmacist.
So it could be a stepping stone to become a pharmacist, which is actually a high demand career, something the medical field is ever growing, and it's not something that's going away. One of the other programs that's offered at Eastern Suffolk BOCES is the carpentry program. And this is an interesting concept here as well, because not only can you be college or career ready, from what I understand, you guys have a partnership with the local Carpenters Union that could also benefit the students as well. So, Fran, tell us about the carpentry program that you oversee at Eastern Suffolk BOCES.
Yes, that is correct, Bob. We have an articulation agreement with the local Carpenters Union. So students that come through the program after 2 years have 1 year of the apprenticeship program taken off.
Wow.
And they start off basically at about $22.50 an hour right out of high school. They're employable. We have two foundations on the campus. One's a 24-foot by 48-foot on a crawl space, and the other is 28-foot by 48-foot on a full basement. So over 2 years, students like Jonah, who's here, builds a complete house, a 3-bedroom ranch, start to finish. It's 1,164 square feet. And those are plans that come from a licensed architect. They're stamped plans. And we build these structures to meet local building codes, Brookhaven Town building codes. So we have the building department come in. They actually speak to the students, and they look over the structure to make sure that we're meeting the local codes.
That's great. And to knock off a year off the apprenticeship program really is putting money in their pocket that much quicker, because then they go up to full scale based on a union carpenter. So if you could save a year and get it done while you're still in school, you're going to be earning that much more, that much quicker.
That's correct. And they're coming out with a job that has benefits as well. So they're making good money with benefits in a union position.
Now, Joyce, tell us about the fashion, merchandising, and design program. And, you know, I'm a little fascinated about it because with the fashion industry, like anything else, there are tons of areas these kids could get involved in. So tell us about the program that you're overseeing.
The students in our program learn everything about the fashion industry, from the sewing end, learning how to design, make their own patterns, to the marketing end, in, how to promote it. Well, we also do a retail store. Many schools do retail stores, and our students also, where they do the planning, the buying, the markup, and then the money we use from that, we then buy some funky fabric in the city where they go and negotiate. We also do fashion shows, and we also do another avenue, and that's a window display of visual merchandising, where we just did that in the fall. A local retail is in Sayville. They did that, and then they did a little touch of the retailing end with Marshalls, Bob's, and Home Goods in January. So
Great.
they get a little taste of everything.
That's great. So now we're going to talk with some of the students that are involved in these programs, and we're going to start with Emily with the pharmacy technician program. So Emily, first off, tell us what your home school district is and what piqued your interest that got you involved with the pharmacy tech program at East and Suffolk BOCES.
I go to the Middle Country District. I go to Newfield, and my interest peaked because my sister was in the nursing program at the academy, and she had a hard time with the pharmacy unit, but my sister's friend was in the pharmacy tech class, and she just loved the atmosphere and how career ready it made her. She adored the class.
So the fact that your sister had a hard time with it and you're not competitive, you didn't want to beat her out with the grades with the pharmacy and prove that you could do it. It was nothing like that at all?
No, I helped her study, and I got really interested in the drugs and the medications that people were on, and it just really piqued my interest.
So what would you say was the biggest surprise when you started the class this year that you did not anticipate when you signed up for it?
Well, I didn't know that we go on internships. Like, we go to Walgreens and we actually fill the prescriptions, and that was one of the biggest surprises, and it really helped me become career ready and allowed me to obtain a job at CVS early in the year. I got it in January.
So you're already working in CVS, and it helped open the door with the internship. So you're already earning some money and taking this course, and is this obviously something you're looking to do after you graduate?
I'm looking to go into nursing, and from what I'm hearing, being in the pharmacy tech program helps me in that field, because the hardest units in nursing have been the pharmacy units, because you have to learn all the drugs, and that's
Because
really what we
medicine
focus on.
management is a huge piece to nursing, because if you don't get that right, it could be the difference between life and death. So to understand the correlation between the impact and the effects with some of the dosages and the medications and how they interact is really important. So this has been beneficial for your ultimate goal to go into nursing?
Yeah, exactly. It's a stepping stone, and it will really help my education.
Excellent. Now, Jonah, you're involved in the carpentry program. Yes. So again, tell us your home school district and how you got about to selecting the carpentry program at East and Suffolk BOCES.
I'm from Miller Place, and what sparked my interest was pretty much just a quick way to just get money. And I've always enjoyed construction, and unlike most kids, I mean, I have to pay for my own college, and I just need some way to just pay for it. And
so have you always enjoyed working with your hands, and,
Yeah.
and you've kind of had an acclimation to going into carpentry because you were
Yeah.
able to build things when you were younger, and you
Yeah.
said it's a way to make money to help pay for college. So
Exactly.
how do you envision this program helping you make the funds necessary for your next steps?
I plan on joining the union,
Okay.
which is Mr. Nielsen explained it earlier, and I mean, who knows, I might end up staying with the union my whole life.
My brother's a union carpenter and has been all of his life, and there are plenty of people who go into the trades, and the trades is always something that's going to be busy for many, many years to come. What was your biggest surprise when you entered the program that you didn't anticipate?
How hands-on it was. I love it, and we actually get to work on an actual house and use tools and learn a lot of new techniques.
Is there some technology that's involved with the carpentry program as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of power tools involved. Like, we use hand saws, table saws, screwdrivers.
Right. And there's probably a huge safety component that you guys go
Yes.
through as well, right?
Yeah, safety is number one.
Okay. So now, Sophia, your home school district happens to also be
Miller Place.
Miller Place. So tell us what got your interest to say, you know what, I want to go into the fashion program at East and Suffolk BOCES.
Well, my sister did the Riverhead location a couple years ago. She did cosmetology there. And my mom always told me, like, you should probably do that because it's a great way to get into a field that you might enjoy. And I picked fashion because it was the most thing I had an interest in. And I just wanted to explore it more. And it turns out that I love it, and I want to have a career in that definitely when I'm...
And what about the program that you really loved? Like, your favorite thing when you go into this class, you look forward to what the most?
Just learning about what the celebrities wear, like just the latest trends and everything, and then the buying that we do for our store, that's like a great intro to what I want to get into, which is buying and selling. And we are currently going over the markups for the prices of the vendors that we get the food from, so that's a great way to explore.
And what would you say would be the biggest surprise? Like, I wanted to go into this, but I didn't know it entailed this, and this is some of the work that needs to be done.
Just like calling up the vendors for the stores. I never expected it to be that.
Right. So cultivating the relationship with the outside vendors that you may be buying from or selling to, depending on which end of the industry you're in, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me, when you say what the celebrities are wearing, do you watch any of the fashion shows? Is there a particular designer that you like more than the others?
I really like Dolce & Gabbana, and I watch like Fashion Police. That's like a review on all the shows, like the Grammys, the Oscars, and stuff like that.
Okay, great. When we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about some other benefits that are involved with this program, and then we're going to talk to our high school seniors about their plans beyond Eastern Suffolk BOCES when they graduate. You're listening to Spotlight on Long Island Schools on 103.9 LI News Radio. And we'd like to welcome you back to Spotlight on Long Island Schools right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. And again, you can hear us live at linewsradio.com. Don't forget to like that Facebook page, Spotlight on Long Island Schools. Suggest a program, club, or activity that your district is involved in, and your school could be the next one in our Spotlight. Once again, our Spotlight this week is on Eastern Suffolk BOCES and their Career Tech Ed programs. And we've been talking with some high school seniors about, we have 3 programs that we're spotlighting tonight: the Pharmacy Technician program, the Carpentry program, the Fashion Design and Merchandising program. And we have 3 high school seniors that are participating in those programs. But what's neat about this, in addition to learning the real-life skills that are necessary to do these jobs, some of these programs are also aligned with colleges, and students are earning college credits, or there's direct linkages to the industry that helps students get the jobs. So, Lori, tell us a little bit about some of the extra benefits that students in the Pharmacy Technician program at Eastern Suffolk BOCES will also enjoy upon completion and sitting for the national certification.
I think one of the biggest bonuses for our class is the internships that the kids are able to participate in throughout the school year. We are one of the few medical classes that get to go out on internships from November all the way through till the end of May. So every week the students come in one full day that they come in for class. They're shipped over to 2 local Walgreens locations,
right,
and they're actually working hands-on with licensed pharmacists and technicians and filling real patients' prescriptions.
And that's great to have that public-private partnership, because kids like Emily already are working in the industry and trying to get a real feel for it, and also earning a few bucks in the process. So that linkage is so critically important to the overall success of the program.
Yeah, this is really giving the kids the hands-on experience. So by the time they're done with this program, or in Emily's case, she's already gotten hired in January, they really have the confidence level and the hands-on skills to go out and really market themselves and be employable.
Right. Now, Fran, you talked about the articulation agreement that you have with the local Carpenters Union, I believe, out of New York City. I think it's called the Empire Carpenters Union?
Empire State.
Empire
yes.
State Carpenters Union. But your course also, students can earn college credits while taking this course.
Oh, that is correct. We use what's called the NCCER. It's the National Center for Construction Education Research Curriculum. So we have articulation agreements with a couple of local colleges, Delhi, SUNY Delhi, New England Institute of Technology, and the students can get advanced college credits in those fields as well.
And how many college credits could they walk away with upon completion of your program?
I believe it's 6 at Delhi and 9 at New England Institute of Technology.
And I'm assuming it's probably at a greatly reduced cost than if they were to go to these colleges and pay for them on their own, correct?
Yeah, that definitely offsets the cost.
So there's a huge economic advantage, as well as getting a leg up on college credits before you even graduate high school.
That's correct.
And we were talking during the break about some other things that you guys are involved with as part of the curriculum, and some of the other exposures that your students get to.
Yes, and that's working with the other trades. Since we build the house, we also have trade electric, plumbing, and HVAC that work on these houses as well. So we work collaboratively with the other trades just as they would in the real field. The classroom itself is really an internship where they're working every day on a an actual live project.
Excellent. And Joyce, where are some of the alignments that your program has in some of the colleges, and where do some of your students go afterwards?
Many of my students all go on to college, and we're articulated with Nassau, Art Institute, LIM, and another school, FIDM, also in California. I'm a former graduate of FIT, so I mirror my curriculum similar to what I learned at FIT, and that is to get a job and to become employable. So they really learn how to multitask, whether it's the design end, the buying end, or the promotional end.
And your program also benefits, quite handsomely from just pure geography. I mean, you are pretty much at the fashion capital of the world, or one of them certainly, with New York City in such close proximity. So do your students get some of the experience and exposure in Manhattan?
Yeah, so when we go on field trips into the city, in addition to buying fabric and negotiating on that, we also go always to some locations of where my former students work now. I had them. And so this way they really see the correlation from high school. Even if it's only Nassau for 2 years, they do phenomenal in the mass merchandise stores, such as Kmart, Target, H&M. You don't have to be a famous designer to be successful. Look at all of us, each of us wearing something different. And that's really the mass merchandise stores. Whether it's shoes, sneakers, you could be set for life, as one of my former students said, at Kmart. And it's not glamorous, but she loves it.
Kmart has a huge staff of buyers because they have to supply and stock the shelves.
That's right. And/or it could be fabric, textiles. It depends on where their area of love is. Even
Excellent.
Sneakology.
Sneakology. We'll expand on that a little further. So now, Emily, again, you've been involved with the pharmacy program. You were talking about your eventual goals to go into nursing. So tell us what your plans are after graduation. Where do you think you're going to be going to school? And what area of nursing do you think you're going to get into? Because there's a lot of different areas you could be involved in. So tell us what your plans are after Eastern Suffolk BOCES and graduation.
After I graduate, I'm attending St. Joseph's College in Patchogue for the nursing program that just started, and I want to eventually go into pediatric oncology nursing, which is kids' cancers.
That's pretty heavy duty, yeah.
That has a lot to do with medications, because everyone's on medications when you have cancer, and I just love helping, and the class really just helped me become career ready because I learned so much. I learned how to make a resume. We're doing mock job interviews. I learned how to be in the field, how to talk to customers. I learned everything.
There might have been some sort of exposure in your years so far that said you wanted to go to pediatric oncology, because that's pretty specific and that's not the norm that you hear. So has there been some past life experience that has generated you to go towards that path?
No, they're just, we go over the drugs, so cancer drugs are some of the drugs that we review in the class, and I'm interested in it. I love kids as it is, and I just want to help.
Well, that's great, because the people that are in that end of the field, it truly is a calling, because you are literally saving lives of kids who really need the best help possible. So congratulations to you on that path, and all the best to you. Jonah, you had mentioned earlier you got into carpentry because you wanted to make some money to help pay for college. So tell us, what college did you plan on going to, or what field interests you, or like you said, you might just stay with the union the whole time? So what are your plans after graduation?
My dream college is actually NYIT, and I'd like to study maybe architecture or business management there, and maybe hopefully become a project manager in the field.
That's great. And by getting that real hands-on, on-the-ground experience, because sometimes architectures will come up with some designs, and as the old expression goes, what looks good on paper, practical application are two different things. And I know I hear tradespeople sit there and say all the time, some guy in an office drew this up, but this is not working out in the field, and they kind of do things on the fly. So some of that experience that you're gaining hands-on will help you if you go into architecture. What are some of the other goals that you see that Eastern Suffolk BOCES has helped prepare you for in the future?
Just the workforce in general. Mr. Nilsson is a very good teacher, and he knows a lot of tricks, as he likes to call them, tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade,
yeah.
Sure. And when you get up in the morning, right, and you say, okay, it's not like going to school, right, because you're passionate about what you're learning, so
exactly.
It's probably pretty easy and pretty you don't have, the motivation level is probably pretty high. What would you say if I'm a student or I'm a friend of yours and I'm thinking about going to Eastern Suffolk BOCES? Give me your sales pitch to say, hey, you want to go to Eastern Suffolk BOCES for this because?
You want to go because you will learn a lot. If you really do love the field that you are going for, then you'll love it 100% because you'll learn a lot. You'll love the teachers. Everybody is just amazing.
That's great. And you've been able to build some connections with classmates from other schools as well, not just your school in Miller Place.
All over. Yep.
Great. So, Sophia, same thing for you. You had mentioned that you want to get into the buying end of fashion. And what are your plans after Eastern Suffolk BOCES and graduation from Miller Place?
I would like to venture off to Nassau Community and or FIT. And I've heard so many great things about both schools because my teacher went to both, actually. So that's really inspired me to get into that. And I want to major in fashion business management. And I plan on getting internships at companies that I really look into, like streetwear in the city, you know. And
so Sneakology, what would you say is your dream company to work for eventually down the road? What's your eye on a prize, would you say? If somebody could give you too many, if somebody could say, you know what, Sophia, your dream job, just say it, it's going to happen. Where would you like to go work?
Right now it's Hood by Air,
okay.
And I want to buy for them, of course.
That would be great. And with the fashion business management, what are some of the skill sets that they've taught you as far as business management? Because again, it's a great thing to be a buyer, right? But you know, I'm a CFO for a living, so I always pay attention to the bottom line and budgets. What are some of the business management experiences that you've had at Eastern Suffolk BOCES?
Well, when we went to go work at the Windows display at the stores, we got to run everything. We got to plan out, excuse me, what we were gonna do, and then we got to get a team together, and then we directed them what to do. And me and my friend were a manager for it, and then for the school store, our vendors, we called up, got the prices, looked online, looked up everything, compared from last year.
Right. And what was it like? You were a manager. What was it like supervising some people, too?
It was interesting because you just get to work with different people and you're the boss. It was weird telling people what to do.
Well, I got to tell you, to all the teachers that are here tonight, job well done. These students are driven, motivated, clearly articulate, and have great goals. And I want to thank Sophia, Jonah, Emily. I also want to thank their teachers, Lori, Fran, and Joyce. You guys did a great job. And we want to thank the folks from Eastern Suffolk BOCES for joining us on this episode of Spotlight on Long Island Schools on 103.9 LI News Radio and linewsradio.com.